Hello, church. So here is our devotional for Wednesday. We have just completed two portions of Psalm 80, and today step into Psalm 81. My current plan is to go ahead and split it in half so we can do a little more focused part. But an interesting psalm today as well, and James Mays gets into some of the setup and the form that makes it kind of unique. Which yeah, you'll hear more about in just a minute. So we're going to start for our New Revised Standard Version. Psalm 81 to the leader according to the Gittith of Asaph. Sing aloud to God our strength, shout for joy to the God of Jacob. Raise a song, sound the tambourine, the sweet lyre with the harp. Blow the trumpet at the new moon, at the full moon on our festal day. For it is a statute for Israel, an ordinance of the God of Jacob, and made it a decree in Joseph when he went over the land of Egypt. I hear a voice I had not known. I relieved your shoulder of the burden. Your hands were freed from the basket. In distress you called, and I rescued you. I answered you in the secret place of thunder. I tested you at the waters of Meribah, Selah. So a reminder, Selah is a pause in the psalm for greater reflection, maybe a call to remembrance, and especially in this one where it's talking at Meribah. Massa and Meribah are where the people of Israel quarreled while they're in the quarreled while they were in the wilderness, and calling those times of losing faithfulness along. Couple of sections from James Mays that'll get into the setup for a psalm and what the interesting things that align it. Psalm 81 begins with the praise of God and then turns quickly to preaching. The sermon is delivered as the voice of God. Its text is the first commandment. You shall have no gods before me. The pathos of the sermon is the yearning of God for a people whose faithfulness answers his choice of them. So longing for a people who can respond to the steadfast love and faithfulness of God's. The Psalm's literary structure has two parts: a summons to the celebration of a festival and an address to the people of God, composed in divine first-person style. So the celebration part we've heard numerous times. It's that call to sound the tambourines, make a joyful noise to the Lord. And then we have this first-person narrative that will be continuing. In the first section, the speech confronts the congregation with God's true identity. God recalls what he has done and what he requires, and therefore who he is. He delivered Israel from the oppressive labors of Egypt in answer to their prayers of distress. He listened when they cried out. The secret place of thunder is a reference to God's theophany as the storm god at the Red Sea. Strangely, Meribah is remembered as a place where God tested Israel, reversing the usual tradition that people tested God there. By his salvation, the Lord claimed and took Israel as his people and revealed himself as the Lord your God. He gave Israel an identity and existence that excluded any relation to other gods. Henceforth, all other gods should be strange and foreign to Israel. The first commandment is the true meaning of the Exodus. Any commerce with other gods meant that Israel had not listened to God, who listened to the cry of their distress. The concluding self-presentation of God says it all. I am the Lord your God who brought you up out of the land of Egypt. That was God's word at Sinai. That is the word which introduces and founds the 10 words of the covenant of Israel. With that word, the confrontation between God and the people at Sinai is reenacted. Good stuff, James Mays. And now the start for Peterson's The Message. Psalm 81, an Asaph psalm. A song to our strong God, a shout to the God of Jacob. Anthems from the choir, music from the band, sweet sounds from the lute and harp, trumpets and trombones and horns. It's festival day, a feast to God, a day decreed by God, solemnly ordered by the God of Jacob. He commanded Joseph to keep this day so we'd never forget what he did in Egypt. I hear this most gentle whisper from one I never guessed would speak to me. I took the world off your shoulders, freed you from a life of hard labor. You called to me in your pain. I got you out of a bad place. I answered you from where the thunder hides. I proved you at Meribah fountain. So we'll pause there for the day. We'll be continuing with Psalm 81 tomorrow, and we'll hear some more from this first person sermon. For modern context, do not lose track of the significance of idolatry and God's disdain for anything that is pulling the people of faith away. It's important for us to recognize that idols are not just graven images. Idols are anything that can begin taking the place and taking away our trust of God in other settings. And being aware of them as a modern believer is extremely critical to our faith life and our journey together. So we'll be finishing up tomorrow. We will catch you later. Have a great day, and bye-bye.